The beginning of the school year brings a lot for seniors to keep track of when it comes to applying for college. Local college counselor Frank Palmazan has been dedicated to helping families find affordable college options for more than 30 years.
And Frank joins us live this morning. Frank, good to see you again.
Thanks, Robin. Larry, good to see you.
So, we remember last year during the pandemic, we heard of a lot of schools going test optional. And I think parents this year are wondering, is that going to hold over for incoming seniors?
Robin, all of the information that we're obtaining suggests that most colleges will continue their test optional approach. Now, we can't guarantee that for all schools, but when students have that opportunity where schools will be test optional, it's a great advantage. They can take the ACT or SAT test and take a little bit of pressure off, analyze their score, and then make the determination as to whether they want to include that in the application process.
Well, I think parents also, just to follow up on that, they're wondering if my kid did take the test, they did pretty well, are they better, but they didn't do as well as they thought to get into a certain school, are they better not submitting the score and just doing an essay, or do schools look at a test score if you took it?
No, the test optional approach is such that really the control is the students and the families. So each student family will decide at this particular institution, do I want to send my score to them? They might send a score to some schools and not to others, and that's fine. There are going to be a number of colleges that are going to not penalize students if they don't send the test score in, not only not penalize them for admission, but also for scholarship purposes.
What if, though, you're in, that may be true for most students, but what if you're looking at an Ivy League school or something of that nature? And I also hear that there's increasing competition to get into any schools because people have sort of deferred a year.
So that could be the case, Larry. In terms of what happens relating to how many students individual institutions accept, we're not really sure how that's going to play out. Obviously, when you get into highly selective institutions, everything matters. The idea of being highly selective is that unlike many institutions that might accept 60-70% of their applicants, those institutions are going to accept 3 to 10% of their applications. And so all of the variables involved could matter significantly. And in those cases, typically students who would apply would normally have high test scores. However, if I was a student and I had, for example, straight A's and I took honors classes and AP courses, and I wanted to apply the highly selectives, but I didn't do well on a SAT or an ACT, and the institution says they're test optional, they can certainly choose not to send it. And there are a number of those universities that still might accept the student. Larry, based on what you mentioned earlier, Robin, the whole idea of how they project themselves in an essay.
All right, let's talk a little bit about financial aid and what parents should be doing right at this time of year, or students. Is there a change in financial aid this time around?
There's some really significant changes that are on the horizon. And so Congress passed some legislation this past year, and what it's going to do is impact our current freshmen and sophomores, because the FAFSA, which is the document that families file in the month of October, that document is going to be reduced significantly in terms of the number of questions. The terminology is going to change, and the method to actually calculate this number, which used to be called EFC, and in a couple years is going to be changed to SAI, Student Aid Index. That methodology to do that calculation is going to change. Now, here's the point. You might say, well, that won't impact anyone now, because the seniors are going to be filing and the families are going to be filing the FAFSA based on today's terminology and methodology. However, by the time they're juniors in college, it will impact them. So planning, given this new set of circumstances, is going to be more critical today than it ever has been. Working with colleges as to how can I assess where I'm at financially over a 4-year period of time, knowing that in midstream, all of this could change. It's going to be an interesting challenge.
All right, Frank Palmisani, we appreciate you joining us again. You can follow him on Twitter at CollegeFitFrank. He will have a link there to watch his YouTube seminar, Conquering College Costs. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Right.
Take care.
Hey, Mike.